In this presentation, we will discuss the installation of the Daktronics SSN150 indoor sound system. It was designed to fit small indoor venues, primarily gymnasiums. The tools required for installation are a number 2 Phillips screwdriver for removal of mesh face, a hammer drill for pre-drilling holes in concrete, sockets to secure hardware to walls, adjust the internal aiming brackets, and install the amplifier control enclosure. For terminating connections, you will need a standard precision screwdriver, wire strippers, and a soldering iron. To mount the SSN150, you will need to select an appropriate wall anchor. Daktronics recommends the anchors shown here. To determine which anchor to use, refer to Appendix C of the Sportsound Indoor SSN Audio System Installation Manual, DD 2686308. When positioning the speaker cabinet, make sure that it is installed no further than 25 feet from center court, and that it is a minimum of 15 feet above the floor for optimal audio coverage. Before installing the SSN150, the front grille frame assembly must be removed. Remove the 4 rear screws on both ends of the sound cabinet. Then lift the grille frame assembly off. The 2 lift eyes are included inside the cabinet toward the bottom. Screw both lift eyes into the top rear of the cabinet. Then use the lift eyes to lift the sound cabinet to the desired location on the wall. The SSN150 mounts to the wall using 2 steel clip angles that are mounted 16 inches apart using 1/2 inch hardware. The rear of the SSN150 cabinet has 2 square cutouts that allow it to hang on the steel clip angles. Once the cabinet is hung on the wall, additional hardware secures the speaker cabinet at the bottom. The amplifier control enclosure is mounted to the wall using 1/4 inch hardware. The head of the hardware must not be larger than 5/8 inch or it will not fit through the keyholes in the rear of the enclosure. Drill holes in the wall 16 inches apart from side to side and 12.25 inches apart top to bottom. Note the square knockout in the center of the enclosure for mounting directly over a power junction box. The control enclosure also includes a power connector and strain relief, so the knockouts on top or bottom of the enclosure can be used to route power to an outlet outside the enclosure. The control enclosure should always be wired to a dedicated 15 amp circuit. The SSN150 comes with audio signal and speaker wire, an input plate, an amplifier control enclosure, and the speaker cabinet. The front end rack plugs into the input plate, which is wired to the control enclosure using 1 pair of 22 gauge audio cable. The control enclosure is then wired to the speaker cabinet using 2 pairs of 12 gauge speaker cable. The XLR wall plate can be mounted on a single gang wall box as shown, or it can be installed into a floor pocket. The wall plate should be terminated with the shield going to pin 1, the positive going to pin 2, and the negative going to pin 3. Use heat shrink and then solder the wires in place. The other end of the cable will terminate inside the amp enclosure. Note, this is a line level connection to the sound system, not a microphone level. Inside the amplifier control enclosure, the cable coming from the XLR wall plate terminates to the transformer, the negative going to pin 1, the positive going to pin 4, and the ground going to pin 6 as shown. The speaker cable then gets connected to the amplifier. Channel 1 will power the main speaker, and channel 2 will power the sub if equipped. Make sure to mark or label the speaker cable in some way to ensure they get terminated to the correct speaker in the speaker cabinet. Because of the processing inside the amplifier, mixing up the connections between channel 1 and channel 2 will render the system inoperable until fixed. In the speaker cabinet, locate the signal terminal blocks and connect the main speaker and subwoofer wires as shown, making sure to pay attention to polarity. Use the provided bridge punches and secure all cables to the speaker cabinet with cable ties. The speaker can be both panned from side to side and tilted down. The maximum angle to each side is 25 degrees, and the maximum downward angle is 5 degrees. To adjust, locate the positioning hardware as shown above. The area labeled 1 allows side-to-side adjustment, and a similar bracket will need to be adjusted at the bottom of the speaker. The area labeled 2 allows tilting. To pan and tilt the speaker, use a 7/16 socket and wrench to loosen the positioning hardware, and adjust the speaker to the desired angles before retightening. After aiming the speaker, the grill should be reattached. Remove the eye bolts used to lift the cabinet up. Then align the mesh frame with the cabinet and insert the screws at the top and bottom to hold it into place. Thank you for watching this presentation. If you have further questions about our products, please contact a Daktronics audio representative. Feel free to view our other training videos available at www.daktronics.com/support. Keyword Sportsound.